to today's chat. We're going to talk about love languages a little bit and really about relationships. And if you are not communicating well, if you don't feel seen or there's some friction in your relationship, I really want you to hang around for this. So in my coaching, I talk with people about all kinds of stuff because health is really not about the food. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true. It's about everything else that's going on in our life. The food is just something that's available that loves us or doesn't love us or whatever, but we use it as a vehicle oftentimes to not feel or when certain things are going on. So you will notice that when people are very, very stressed or life is out of control, they have a weight change normally. Either they lose a lot because they're not eating at all, or they gain a lot because they're eating a lot. So they're using food as a vehicle to handle the emotion. I actually found myself talking about this 3 times in the last 24 hours. And so when something is repeated like that, it generally tells me that I can share and add more value to other people, that more people are going through this. So this is an excerpt from Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts. I have been talking with folks that are dissatisfied in their marriage or their relationships or just struggling, and they feel like their partner doesn't know how to love them. They don't feel appreciated, they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard. I think one of the most important things and also hardest things in a relationship, this actually goes to friendships too, even with children, parents, is communication. So we all have different styles, we have different personalities, and so that makes it really hard. But if you can figure that out, you're going to be so far ahead, because the reality is the person that you're with is probably the opposite of you. We tend to be attracted to that. And there's this joke of, you're attracted to that person because they were so different. But now when you're in an argument 10 years, 20 years later, you're so frustrated because they don't think like you. I think that's part of God's sense of humor, is that we get partnered with people that actually teach us a lot about ourselves in the process, right? This life is a journey, and there's a lot of learning that goes along. By the way, if you have not subscribed here, I would appreciate a subscribe. I'd appreciate a share. I'm trying to build this platform. You can also find me on social media. All of those links are in the notes section of today's chat. So what I challenged one of my clients with was, I asked, do you know your husband's love language? And she said, I'm really not sure. I'm going to go through them with you, and you'll probably have a pretty good idea. So that told me she's probably not paying a whole lot of attention to where her husband is at. And then secondly, when you know what their love language is, you can go out of your way to show love in that way. So one of my love languages is, actually I'll get into that as an example in a little bit. But what I challenged her to do was do one thing every day that shows you love that person. So you guys, love is an action word. It is not a noun. Love means that you care about that person, and it is not conditional. You are going to go out of your way in some kind of action to show them that they matter without expectation. That is extremely hard to do because we tend to be tit for tat, especially if we're hurt. So my challenge was take 40 days and do something every single day to show them that you love them. Not one day, not one action, and then get frustrated that they weren't responsive to you. Not one day, you guys. This takes time. And I promise you, if you do it for 40 days, you're going to see changes in your spouse and how they treat you. I'm trying to look for something really quick because I wanted to show you or tell you another resource that I think would be really good. So Kirk did a movie a while ago called Fireproof. And then based off of that, he wrote a book called Love Dare but you can actually also just go to YouTube and search Kirk Cameron Love Dare, and he gives you 40-day challenge. So it's a little bit different, but it's similar to what I am suggesting. So let's go through what the 5 love languages are, and you generally have one that's very dominant, and then you have a second one that's pretty prominent. So the first one is words of affirmation. So someone that likes this is someone that wants to be encouraged. They want to be affirmed, appreciated, empathized with, listened to. Not solution, listen. Really good listening skills, which is so hard, you guys. Okay, how could you meet? Actually, I'll do that after. Okay, physical touch. Nonverbal, using your body language, touching, expressing love. It doesn't just mean sexual. It can be that, but it's that they feel loved by cuddling or hugs or holding their hand or walking by and patting them, right? The next one is receiving gifts. This can be demonstrated through thoughtfulness, making them a priority, speaking purposefully to them. The fourth one is quality time. So uninterrupted, focused, put these away, conversations. One-on-one time is critical for that person. The fifth one is acts of service. So things like, I'll help, or you want them to know that you're with them, that you're partnered with them. So the 5 are words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Okay? So how can you do this? What actions can you take? So if you think your spouse is words of affirmation, you can send them an unexpected note, a text, or a card. You can generally encourage them and do it often. If they are a physical touch, hug, kiss, hold hands, show physical affection often, make intimacy a thoughtful priority. Okay. Receiving gifts, that's pretty decent. Give gifts, but make them thoughtful. Don't just buy tchotchkes to buy tchotchkes, right? Small gifts actually matter in a big way to people that like gifts, okay? And when you are given a gift from them, express gratitude for it, even if it's not your love language, okay? Quality time is the next one. Create special moments together, take walks, do small things with your partner. Weekend getaways are really big for someone that likes quality time. Acts of service. Do chores together, or make them breakfast in bed. Go out of your way to help alleviate daily workload, right? So just an example. So I am a quality time person. I love quality time, and then I'm also words of affirmation. So I love, as a family, playing games together. Everybody is engaged. We're interacting. There's usually something that we're doing, but everybody's personality comes out. That fills me up. I absolutely love it. Words of affirmation. I love words of affirmation. My husband leaves me little notes all over, and it makes me feel so loved. It doesn't take him more than 10 seconds to write a note on a sticky note and stick it somewhere that he knows I'm going to see it. He does it all the time. Very, very considerate. So my challenge to these clients, and I want to challenge you, figure out what your spouse's love language is. And I wouldn't yet tell them what your love language is. They may ask you, they may observe that you're doing changes. If they ask you, you can tell them your love language. But do not go and say, hey, I'm going to try to love you for 40 days, and I know that your love language is physical touch. Well, mine is gifts, so you better be paying attention to me, and you better be buying me gifts because that's what I care about. Okay, that is not the point of this exercise at all. You chose to marry this person. You committed your life to them. Our society views relationships as a commodity. Like, what can you do for me? Oh, you can't do anything. I'm going to get rid of you. Go back to what you loved about that person and be intentional. Do these little things for 40 days without expectation, without rolling your eyes, without trying to make a comment back. I challenge you to do that, and I would love to know the results from that, because I think you'll be really, really surprised what a positive response you will get from your spouse. All right, go out, make it happen.